A little bit of anticipation there from Shadow Man. Yeah, this is where we expected an expressive extended. But unfortunately, not quite gone to plan. I believe Chris has decided to retire Shadow Man. Obviously, would like to save him for another day. Real respect to these riders. They know these horses better than anybody else, so he knows what is right for this horse, but we won't see them continue in the rest of the competition. Chris, a fantastic horseman, making the right decision for his horses. Obviously just feels that not to be today for him and Shadow Man. There's some really, really beautiful elements to that test. I think with their eyes firmly on the Paris qualifications, it won't be long before we see them back out again. See these horses after their test just being checked over by FEI officials, making sure they're wearing all the correct equipment, make sure they have the correct bits in for the dressage. These routine checks, every rider when they come out the arena will have their horses checked, make sure everything's okay before they head on back to the stables. So 8 riders left to go in our first session of dressage here at Montelibretti. Like we say, the first leg of the Nations Cup series for 2024. We have 8 legs across the year, but it's all kicking off here in Italy. 43 starters as we turn our attentions to our next rider in the arena. We have another rider coming forwards for Spain. Antonio Cejudo Caro and Duque HSM. Duque HSM owned by Hannah Overana San Miguel. Combination who competed at the World Championships in Bretoni in 2022. And there's the bell from our president of the ground jury, Seppo Lane. So underway now for Spain, Antonio Cejudo and Duque HSM. This 13-year-old. A little movement in that first halt. But a positive entry straight in to the medium trot. This combination have started 2024 very well, as they picked up a 4th place in the 4-star short at Mata Duque. So already have one 4-star short under their belt so far this season. Into that half pass, looking for the balance and the correct bend, and the positioning is so important in these half passes, especially when you have 3 judges. Each judge has a different view, so there's nowhere to hide. Each judge will be able to see a different view and a different element from your test, but that's why they're there. Now there's a clean flying change, and now into the walk before the rein back. Nearly a square halt. Some straight rein back steps. Now for the extended walk, trying to keep purpose, but without too much exuberance. Looking like a positive walk. Into that extended trot, looking for uphill movement in that extended trot. You want these horses pushing from behind and lifting at the front. Into our trot circle, where these horses have to stretch down. You want to see them take their nose out a little bit more, just ever so slightly, behind the vertical. It means when the horse tucks his nose a little bit close to the chest, you want these horses almost poking their nose out slightly. But an expressive finish to the test there for Antonio Sidocaro and Duque HSM. Looks very happy indeed with that, and quite rightly so for Spain. As in fact we have some scores coming in, and it's Spain who are out in front. Our first riders to enter the arena was Esteban Bale Benitez and Utera AA 35-1. They bring forward a percentage score of 66.22, which converts to 33.80 as their penalty score. And we also have a score in for our first Italian rider, which was Fosco Girardi and Euphori. 66%, which converts to 34. So there are two scores on the board at the moment. 33.8 is the score to beat from Esteban Valle Benitez. Now we turn to another rider from Italy. It is Alessio Prioa. Entering the arena aboard Gatto Saltadou. Owned by Alessio himself. Combination who were in the top 30 at the Nations Cup here last year. This 13-year-old Gatto Saltadou make their way round to the first of the flying changes. Big medium canter across diagonal there. A real opportunity for these riders to push on and show their horses off. A bit of an exuberant flying change there at A. But let's see about the walk. To the rein back now. Combination who average around the 37 mark in this first phase. This is in fact Alessio's 20th start at the 4-star short level. A little bit of tension creeping in the shoulder in. Nicely over in the half pass. A little better in the shoulder in this direction. Now a nice stretch out. Just looking for a little bit lower in the head as they stretch on the trot surface. Positive final centre line. That's what you want from the end of your test. Well, a nice test there from Alessio Proia and Gatto Saltadou for Italy. As we have some more scores coming in, and this time it's for France, Luc Chateau and Igo de Campanes. Bring forward a percentage score of 58.28, which converts to 41.7 penalties. So it's still Esteban Benitez Valle out in front for Spain, 33.80. That's the score to beat. But what will we see from our next rider coming forward for Switzerland? It is Najaminda. Naja coming forward with Victory Hope Trey. Victory Hope Trey owned by Peter Attinger. Najaminda, a very experienced rider, part of the Swiss team at Crotone World Championships in 2022, and of course at the Europeans at Harapan last year. So plenty of championship experience under her belt. Now it is the turn, Najaminda. Victory Hope Trey, this 15-year-old. The best placing at the 4-star level was 5th at Barroco 4-star long last year. But let's see what they can do today with this brand new 4-star C dressage test. Well, a very nice start indeed, a beautiful square halt. So important to get that first halt right in front of our judge at E. Vivek Henning for Germany. Good starts so far into this second half pass now. Showing some difference in that extended canter. And straight into this counter before the flying change. This is a real tricky movement, keeping that counter. And then, of course, that change at A. Which, like I've said before, is double marks. So can be very rewarding if done right, and can be very expensive if there is a slight mistake, especially with 3 judges. Halts are definitely the strong point for this combination. Lovely halt into a rein back, very relaxed. Keeping a nice relaxation as they collect the reins and make their way around to pick up trot. It's a real area where you can highlight if a horse is relaxed or not, because some of them are so keen to get back up to trot that it can be like sitting on a ticking time bomb, but it definitely wasn't that for Najaminda. Now for the extended. Different show, could have slight more ground coverage, but on the whole this has been a very nice test so far. Nice stretch down in this trot circle. Be interesting to see her score later on. The score to beat 33.8 as it stands, Esteban Benitez Valle. Well, completing their test there for Switzerland. Najaminda, Victory, Hope, Trey. Nice relaxed test for this 15-year-old. As we've had another score come in, this time for Spain. It is a score for Antonio Sudocare and Duke HSM. A percentage score of 64, beg your pardon, 64.05. That converts to 36 penalties, so they go into third place. At the moment, as it stands, it's Spain, Italy, Spain. What can we see from our next rider coming forward for France? Maxime Livio comes forward now. Maxime Award, 15-year-old Vegas de Bourson. Very experienced combination. Placed 8th at Le Moulin 5-star back in 2021. Maxime, who I imagine firmly has his eyes set on hopefully getting onto the French team for the Home Olympics this year. And what a beautiful start. Lovely expressive medium trot across that first diagonal.
Saltador. Georgian E 179, Georgian C 187, Georgian N 184.50, negative point 38.80.
Well, a combination who could be pushing the top of our leaderboard, like I say, 33.8 the score to be. They average around the 34 mark at previous competitions. Unfortunate late change there. Got a bit of a break in that flying change, which will be expensive, as we say, because double marks for these flying changes. So really trying to show a difference there in that extended canter across the diagonal before this counter canter and then another flying change. Much better this way. Nice clean flying change. So it looked like a square halt, but I don't think there was full weight on one of the back legs. A little rest halfway through.
Negative point 34. Esteban Benitez Valle, Utrera, Georgian 201, Georgian.
But a lovely positive extended walk. This is what you want to see in the extended walk. These judges looking for purpose. And the over track from the horse's hoofs, which can't see from our angle, but our three judges will have a very clear view of that indeed. Maxine's such a talented rider, getting every inch, every mark he can out of this dressage test. Even if there has been a slight hiccup, he puts that behind him and rides so positively for the next movement. Well, for France, only 15-year-old Maxime Livio and Vegas de Bourson completing their test there. We'll be keeping an eye on their score, 33.8, the score to beat. The best this combination have posted at the 4-star short level was 32.5 in Harad back in 2020. So I'll keep you updated with the leaderboard, as we have in fact had a new score come in from Alessio Proia for Italy and Gatto Saltadou. 61.17 was their percentage score and 38.80 their penalty score. So they go into 4th place as it stands. As next to join us is Sarah Clark, the first of Sarah Clark's rides. She has 2 rides in this Nations Cup competition. The first one that she's bringing forward is her most experienced horse, LV Balugines. LV Balugines, owned by Sarah herself, Jill Clark, Colin Clark and Linda Clark. Sarah made a very, very brave move back in 2022 when she decided to sell 2 of her horses to fund a trip over to the UK to achieve half of her dream to complete Burghley. She did exactly that. She managed to fund the money and take that trip over to England and complete Burghley horse trials, which was very brave because I know that she didn't really have a clue how she was going to get home, whether she was going to have the money, and she has yet to go home because I believe she's been based in the UK, has come out to Italy here at the start of 2024 to get her season underway. But I believe that she would have her eyes on badminton horse trials this year. She was entered last year, things didn't quite go to plan so she couldn't go, but fingers crossed for Sarah and LV Balugines this year to see if she can get another British 5-star under her belt. She's completed Adelaide 5-star back in 2019 and finished 12th there. Combination who also have wins at the 4-star level, so experienced combination now. They know each other really, really well, but I know their favourite phase will be that cross country on a Saturday. Nice difference shown in the extended canter. Coming around for this flying change. You could sense a little bit of anticipation as they came round the corner, so it didn't quite go to plan. She kept her cool on to the next movement. That's the thing, if it starts to unravel in these tests, there's not a lot you can do other than keep your cool, move on to the next movement, which sounds a lot easier than it is when you're in the arena. Much better flying change this way. Horses often have one way easier than the other, maybe stronger one way than another, just like humans. Not quite square, but relaxed halt. Into that rein back, and now for the extended walk. Sarah doing a super job of keeping that relaxation in that corner for the walk before they back up into their trot work. Like I say, Sarah has 2 rides in this Nations Cup competition. First here of LV Balugines, that makes him her 20th 4-star short start. So coming around for that final centre line. Nice square hold to finish there for Australia's Sarah Clark and LV Baloo Jeans. As we turn to our final three riders before we will have a short break. And our next rider coming forward is another rider from Spain. It is in fact Spain who are out in front at the moment, with Esteban Benitez Ballet's 33.8. However, what can we see from our next Spanish rider? It is the turn of Francisco Gavino Gonzalez and Ultrasource del Cerro, 35. Just a 10-year-old, owned by Francisco himself. As we have a score has come in for Najaminda Victory Hope Trey for Switzerland. 61.67 their percentage score, 38.30 their penalty score, so they go into fourth place as it stands. As we see Seppo Lane, head of the ground jury at the letter C, ring the bell, tell the riders that it's okay to start now. Seppo, of course, who has huge amounts of experience on the ground juries up to the 5-star level. He began judging back in 1999, 24 years ago. 25 years ago, I should say. Well, a good first halt there from Francisco Gavino Gonzalez. Combination who average around the 36 mark in this first phase. Francisco, who competed as an individual at the Tokyo Olympics. Ultrasource del Cerro, fairly new to the 4-star level, stepped up to 4-star last year. Really showing a difference in that extended canter. For into this counter, hard movement because of flying changes, fast approaching at the letter A. Just trying to keep the relaxation in the walk as they approach this rein back. good halt. Another horse who is very good at these halts, and they really do matter because you'll often have at least two in a test. Simple movement, but a very important one.
Negative point 45.60. Nadia Linder, Victory Walk, Georgia D 182, Georgia C 182.50, Georgia N 190.50, negative point 48.30.
Good transition up to trot. Dressage del Cerro competed at the Le Lion d'Angers 6-year-old Young Horse World Championships back in 2020. Finished top 30 there. Fantastic competition for the young horses out there in France. Cross country really is a work of art. It's the first real exposure to international competition, and it went very well there back in 2020. And so far this test has been a nice test. Relax, stretch down, which is great to see. The horse taking the nose out, which is brilliant. Often we do see them tuck their nose towards their chest, but that was a nice stretch on the circle. Coming to the end of the test now. Completing there, this 10-year-old Dressage del Cerro 35, ridden by Francisco Gavino Gonzalez for Spain. Takes us into our final two riders for the first part of dressage here today at the FEI Eventing Nations Cup first leg here in Montelibretti. As some more scores have come in, and this time for France, Maxime Livio, Vegas de Bosson. 64.39 their percent, so 35.6 their penalty score. That puts them into third place, pushing Antonio Siducara back into fourth. But it's still Esteban Benitez Valle, our very first rider in the ring, out in front with 33.80. They're the score to beat. Now we turn to one of our riders coming forwards for Italy. It is Pietro Maggiolin and Firandel de Mera. Firandel de Mera owned by Francesco Ferro. Young horse at the 4-star level, just 9 years old. They stepped up to 4-star last year. Like we say, 4-star is the first time these horses have to do flying changes and some more complex movements like that, especially when they're double marked in a test like they are here. It's a very, very important movement. But totally understandable if some of these younger horses aren't fully established in their changes, but we'll wait and see because the bell has rung means it's time to start for Pietro Maggiolino and Frendel De Mira. Looked like a little bit of a hollow first halt, but a nice end to that centre line. They've already competed at Montelibretti this year, back on the 3rd of March in the freestyle short class. A few of the riders have stayed out here for a period of time. There they had a dressage score of 34 in the 3-star. Placed just outside the top 20 overall. Now coming around for the first of these flying changes. Not a bad flying change. For just a 9-year-old. Their best placing at the 4-star level together was an 8th place at the 4-star long in Linear last year. A positive walk off. Pietro doing a fab job of just making sure that they keep a lid on it, stay calm in this walk section. Frendel De Mira looking very keen to get on with the trot work. These event horses are incredibly fit and raring to go for that cross-country day. So sometimes it can be quite difficult to keep them cool in this first phase. He's done a super job so far. Good extended trot. And now they come round into the shoulder in. These trot sections really testing the horse's suppleness, the shoulder in straight into the half pass. And then for our stretching trot circle, looking for a little bit more stretch down, a little bit more relaxation. Getting a little bit better in the second half. But all to come with age relaxation and suppleness over the back. Wow, Pietro Maggiolino and Frendel De Mira Just a 9-year-old completing their test there. Our third Italian rider that we've had so far today. As the score is coming in for Sarah Clark and LV Baloo Jeans, I'll give you that full score when I have it all updated. But for now, we turn our attentions to the final rider before we will have a short break in this FEI Eventing Nations Cup first dressage day. Final rider to go in this first section. Coming forward for Switzerland, it is Philip Ryan and Amansara. Amansara owned by Rudy Bossard. Amansara, beautiful striking horse, just 12 years old. Stepped up to the 4-star level at the back end of last year. And in fact, finished the year very well, having placed 4th here in Montelibretti, 4-star short at the end of last year. So no strangers to the venue. A little bit more ground coverage needed in the medium trot, but a smooth transition up to canter there. Took the win mid-season last year in the freestyle long in Avanche, finishing on their dressage score of 36.7 there. A little bit late behind from my angle in that flying change. Much better on this rein, like we said. Horses often have one rein easier than the other for their flying changes, especially for a horse who only stepped up to a 4-star last year. Looking good. The only ones to watch on the final day. They're very good in the show jumping phase, good jumpers. The test so far today is not looking bad at all. Straight into these shoulder in and then into the half pass. Much better in the extended trot than the previous medium trot. Nice relaxation. Could see a little bit of a lower stretch. Judges really looking to see these horses stretch over their back and pop their neck a little bit lower down towards the ground. But looking like a positive final centre line there. For our last rider before our break. Big cheers there for Philip Ryan and Amansara for Switzerland. So that concludes the first section of dressage here for the first leg of the FEI Eventing Nations Cup here in Montelibretti. As it stands with a few scores to go, it is Esteban Benitez Ballet, our first rider to enter the arena, who is out in front after our first section of dressage. 33.8 the score to beat. In second it is Fosco Girardi and Euphori with 34. And rounding out the top three as it stands at the moment, Maxime Livio, Vegas de Bosson, 35.6. That's the top three as it stands. The scores come in for Sarah Park, LV Balugines. 59.94 was the percentage, so 40.10 her penalty score. She goes into 7th place as it stands. So 12 riders have been. We have 12 more to go when we come back after our short break. So don't go far because we will be back very shortly for our final 12 riders at 3:24 will be our first to go. That would be Benjamin Massey for France. So welcome back to the next set of dressage here on our very first day of the very first leg of the FEI Eventing Nations Cup. I'm Rosie Russell and I'll be taking you through all 4 days of action here in Montelibretti. Now, as it stands, after our first 12 riders that we've had today, it is Spain out in front, Esteban Benitez Bale and Utera 35-1. Who currently hold top spot with 33.80. That's the score to beat. During our break, we had a score come in from Philip Ryan and Mansara for Switzerland, and it was a very good score indeed. 65.33 was the percentage, 34.70 the Maxime Livio and Vegas de Bosson down into 4th place. So Maxime rider to enter the arena for France. It is Benjamin So Benjamin Massey, Figaro Fonroy underway in their test. A nice first flying change down at A. Our ground jury for our 4-star Nations Cup here in Montelibretti. Our head of the ground jury president is Seppo Lane from Finland. Seppo, an incredibly experienced member of the ground jury, judged up to the 5-star level, competed up to the 4-star level himself and started judging back in 1999. We also have on the ground jury from Ireland, John Little, and from Germany, Wiebke Henging. Off to a good start so far for Benjamin and Figaro Fonroy. Lovely halt before they rein back. Benjamin, a very experienced French rider, competed at the European Championships last year with Edition Fonroy. Figaro Fonroy doing a brilliant job so far. Just a 9-year-old who started his international career back in 2021, so moved up the ranks very fast indeed. Coming round now for this extended trot. Very expressive. Looking like a beautiful test so far for a horse who only stepped up to 4-star at the back end last year. The first 4-star was at Lignières, where they placed 6th. Nice stretch on this trot circle. Ones that could really challenge the top of the leaderboard at the moment is Esteban Benitez Valle, as we say, 33.8 the score to beat. Could we see a French rider come out on top after the first day of dressage? We'll wait and see. Finishing their test now. Just that final halt. Very nice indeed. Benjamin Massey and Figaro Fonroy. Seems very happy with that, as do Connections. Quite rightly so, just a 9-year-old. And very new to the 4-star level, but producing a nice test indeed. As we move on to our next rider to enter the arena, coming forward for Australia. Very experienced rider, William Levitt, known as Bill Levitt, with RNH TomTom. Bill, obviously the Australian Olympian, with a wealth of experience under his belt. Relocated from Australia to the UK in 1994 to pursue his eventing career, and what a career it has been. So just 11 riders left to come forward today, and then tomorrow we'll have the following 19 riders, 43 riders in total coming forwards for this FEI Nations Cup. 10 different nations being represented across the weekend, and it's lovely to see these riders riding this brand new dressage test, this 4-star Test C. It's a new one for 2024, and it's riding very well. What a lovely start there for Bill. Very smooth transition up to canter. This 12-year-old gelding. Bill, who likes to come out to Italy at the start of his seasons. He's been out here earlier on this month with Hubberfuss here, picking up 2nd place in the 3-star short. A great success here last year in the Nations Cup. 6th place, 30.7 was their dressage score there. Well, if they can get anywhere near that today, they'll head straight to the top of the leaderboard.
CCIO4 star Philip Ryan Armstrong, judging E 195, judging C 193, judging A 34.
Lovely halt before this rain back. Very straight rain back. That's what the judges are looking for. When it's placed in the middle of the arena there, it really does highlight the straightness of the horse. Sometimes it's placed at either end of the arena or along the side, and it can be easier just to disguise a lack of straightness when you have the boards to help you, but right in the centre there, it really does highlight whether you have your horse straight or not for the rain back. But Bill and Habathus, a very experienced combination together, and that experience is shining through. Lots of impulsion there in that extended trot. Round for the half pass next after the shoulder in. Little bit of tension creeping in there as they're finishing the test. Unfortunate break into canter. What has been a nice test there for Australia's Bill Levitt and Habathus AC.
Ah no, ok, partito.
Well, now we turn to the next rider coming to the arena for Spain. It is Carlos Diaz Fernandez and Tareja. Combination who are rated to give us one of the best dressage tests
Audio, avete audio?
from the field within the top 5. So looking forward to seeing this one. Can they knock Ballet Spaniard off the top of the leaderboard? Because as it stands, Esteban Benitez Ballet at the top with 33.8. Still the score to beat. Well, a beautiful start to their test. Combination who competed at lots of Nations Cups last year. In fact, competed at 3 of them and were never outside the top 20. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on them this weekend especially when it comes to Saturday. They've only ever had one cross-country jumping penalty in their international career, which was their first ever international run. So a pair that really do excel on that cross-country course, which do tune in for all the cross-country action on Saturday. That's when our 4-Star Nations Cup will be taking place. With the fabulous cross-country designed by Eric Winter. Eric, of course, the badminton horse trials cross-country course designer as well. Well, looking like a very nice start to this test so far. Difference shown in that extended canter. Now round to the first of the flying changes. Very nice flying change. As we said before, important move, the flying change. Double marks awarded for the 2 flying changes in this test. And a beautiful halt. That'll be right in the eye line of the president of the grand jury, Seppo Lane. Tare Hay, just 11 years old, producing a very fluent test so far indeed. And a lot of expression in the extended trot. Just looking to keep that uphill manner. From their last 6 runs together, this combination has averaged around 30.6. If that's the score they can get today, they will go to the top of the leaderboard as it stands. But we're still yet to have a few results come in from our previous 2 riders. So I'll keep you updated as and when we have them, but now coming to the end of their test. Will look like a very nice test indeed. It is Carlos Diaz Fernandez coming forward with the 11-year-old Tahe. 2 rides for Carlos this weekend. He'll bring forward his 8-year-old tomorrow. So we have 19 riders coming forward tomorrow. We will have had 24 come forward by the end of today. Carlos looks very pleased indeed with that test, and he should be. A good thumbs up and a big smile is always great to see. This very, very smart 11-year-old. We see here our FEI officials doing their checks as they do with every rider after they've completed their dressage, just to check that they're wearing all the correct equipment, have the correct bit in. And it's always lovely to see these shots, to see how well cared for all these horses are. Lovely to see a rider coming out having a big smile and a photo after their dressage test. It's great to see it all going so well for the Spanish so far. So like I say, they're out in front as it stands. But now it's another rider coming forward for the home nation, Italy. It is the turn of Emiliano Portali and Scuderia 1918 Future. Scuderia 1918 Future, owned by Scuderia 1918 Capital. Emiliano, who has served as a team selector for the Italian national pony team. The Italians are very, very good in the youth ranks. An experienced rider, just outside the top 30 at the Europeans at Haradapan last year. So we look forward to seeing what they can do today, starting their dressage test now. Emiliano Portali, Scuderia 1918 Future. A lot of cadence in that first medium trot. Can produce a very smart first phase score. Have broken the 30 barrier, 29.2. The back end of the year in the 4-star short here in Montelibretti. Kicked off this year very well indeed. Earlier this month here in the 3-star short. Just outside the top 20 there. Also has a huge canter in the extended canter, collecting back now before this flying change. Very nearly a square halt before the rein back. Really nice to see relaxation, but positivity in that extended walk. You can really see the horse swinging over its back. Maliani did a great job here. Like a very fluent, relaxed test. Back in 2021, he was named Athlete of the Year by the National Union of Veterans of Sport of Rome in Italy. Like we said, an experienced rider for the Italian squad. Well, completing their test there for Italy, Emiliano Portali and Scuderia 1918 Future. Like a very pleasing test indeed. Lovely to see such happy, relaxed horses leaving the dressage arena. Just taking it all in their stride, very chilled. Well, we haven't had a score update just yet from our second batch of riders today. However, after our first session, it was our first rider who entered the arena out on top, Esteban Benitez Ballet and Uteria AA 35-1, 33.80 the score to beat. But we still have some very exciting combinations to come forward this afternoon. And this would be one of them. It is the turn of Switzerland's Felix Vogt. Felix coming forward with Cartagna, owned by Phoenix Eventing and Felix himself. Felix, an incredibly experienced rider. 15th at badminton last year, 14th at Bretoni World Championships, and individual 8th at the European Championships in Avanche back in 2021. But of course, the gem in his crown is his win at Le Moulin 5-star on his horse Colero back in 2022. An incredibly talented rider. This is a test we'll watch with great interest. Felix Vogt and Catania. Very unfortunate step back in that first halt. A lovely trot away down that centre line. As we've established, Felix, an incredibly good rider for the Swiss team. But it's not only riding that he's been very talented at representing Switzerland. He also competed in the Swiss Alpine Skiing Championships as a junior. So a multi-talented sportsman. We're very thankful he has chosen to excel in eventing. Looked like a good first flying change there. A very fluid flying change. I would say these flying changes are so important because double marks awarded for each of them. Good hold before this rein back. Got the 5 steps. Very elegant uphill picture throughout this test so far. Just a little bit more ground coverage in the extended trot would be needed. Round they go now to this trot stretch circle. Looking nice and relaxed, a little bit lower in the stretch would be ideal, but on the whole, a good circle. As they trot down that final centre line. It is Swiss Olympian Felix Vogt and Cartagna. So we have indeed had a little bit of a leaderboard shake-up. We did think we were seeing some very good tests earlier on, and the judges agree. Because Bill Levitt and Hubris AC have posted a percentage of 66.61, so 33.4 their penalty score, so they creep ahead of Esteban Benitez Valle, who's on 33.8, but in fact ahead of them now for France it is Benjamin Massey and Figaro Fonroy, our first rider after our break. They produced a beautiful test. 67.44 their percentage, 32.60 the penalty score. So that's the score to beat. Benjamin Massey, Figaro Fonroy, 32.60. So it's France out in front, Bill Levitt for Australia, 33.4 in second, and Esteban Benitez Valle into third for Spain with 33.8. He held on to that lead for a long time, but has just been shuffled back now into third place. But there the bell goes for our next rider coming forward for France, Mathieu Chambard and Big Boss Mello, owned by Gail Lebert and Nicolas Mara. Can they contest with fellow French rider Benjamin Massey and Figaro Fonroy, who are currently out in front, 32.60. Now this combination averaging around the low 30s in this first phase. That would be a very useful score indeed if they could hit their average. Because if they can start well, they're pretty good at finishing on it. The jumping phases are their strong points. We look forward to seeing them on Saturday. They've never had a cross-country jumping penalty in their international career. Seriously impressive stuff. But it's not just the cross-country that they excel at. From 21 international runs, they've jumped 19 show jumping clear rounds. So if they can post a good score in this first phase, watch out, because they're likely to jump double clear. So far, looking like a nice start. What a shame, bit of a break on that corner before that first flying change, the break in the counter-canter, which unfortunately meant the change didn't happen, so that could be expensive with those double-marked flying changes. Looked like a nice halt before that rein back. Good extended walk. Now into the section of the test, very trot heavy. Heading round now to their extended trot. Very expressive in that.
CCIO4 star Carlos Diaz Fernandez, Caralho, Judging E was 208, Judging C 240.50, Judging F 203. Bonus point 30.50, 34 to 69.60. William Evans, Ubertus, Judging E 208.50, Judging C 202, Judging F 189.
So making their way down that final centre line, a combination that if they can post a good first phase score are very likely to finish on it. For France, Mathieu Chambard, Big Boss, Mello. Nice halt to finish their test. Just that unfortunate break with the flying change. But on the whole, a nice test, and like I say, ones to watch. In the jumping phases, having never had a cross-country jumping penalty in their international career, and from their 21 international runs have jumped 19 show jumping clear rounds. Quite a phenomenal jumping record for this pair. And we've had some scores come in, and there's been even more shake-up on the leaderboard. We said it was a beautiful test. Well, Carlos Diaz Fernandez and Tahe have posted a very good score indeed. 69.50 their percentage, 30.50 the penalty score. So that puts them out in front. 30.50 the score to beat. In fact, 30.50 is a personal best at the level for Carlos Diaz Fernandez and Tahe. Their previous personal best was 31.8 in Arville 4-star short last year. So a very good day at the office. No wonder he was smiling after when you're posting personal bests in the first phase. Very exciting, and 11-year-olds. So we'll keep an eye on them throughout the weekend. As we turn to our rider coming forward from Brazil now, it is the turn of Rafael Manfromilo-Sano, coming forward with Master Quality, owned by Rafael himself. There's 2 rides across this weekend. We'll see him come forward tomorrow with Cruiswan EBZ. But now we focus on Master Quality. Combination who competed in the Tokyo Olympics. Rafael competed in the Tokyo Olympics. This is in fact the first 4-star for Master Quality. So we'll be interested to see how they cope with this brand new 2024 4-star Test C, because if it's their first time at 4-star, it's likely to be the first time they've had to come across flying changes in a competitive environment. No strangers to the venue. They've been here earlier this month, picked up 9th in the 3-star short. Smooth transition up to canter. Canter work very early on in this test. Now come around for the first of these flying changes. Not bad first flying change. Another good flying change. Impressive for this 10-year-old, their first 4-star. Look like some straight marine back steps there. Well, the 30.7 that they posted earlier on in the month here in Montelibretti in the freestyle short was in fact their personal best dressage score. So Montelibretti, happy hunting ground in the first phase anyway. Into the shoulder in before they head straight into the half pass, really highlighting the horse's suppleness, this movement. Something we've seen before in 5-star tests. This, of course, 4-star tests see a brand new test for 2024. Nice stretch down on this trot circle, looking really relaxed, not behind the vertical, which is what the judges are looking for. Well, a sweet test there from Rafael Manfrin Lozano, master quality. First of 2 rides there for Rafael, representing Brazil. Be back tomorrow with his second ride. We have 19 riders coming forward tomorrow. 43 starters across the weekend, 10 nations represented. So another rider coming forward now for Italy. And also another rider with 2 horses entered this weekend. The first, though, for Fabio Faniciotti, it is Bolt MCR. Bolt MCR owned by Rengo Marie Caroline. So the bell goes there for this 11-year-old Bolt MCR and Fabio Ciotti for Italy. From my angle, looks like a good square halt to start. But of course, the people that will really be able to tell is President of the Ground Jury, Seppo Lane, and our judge either Vibeke Hennig from Germany, because that halt is right in front of her. Off to a good start, showing a difference there in that extended canter round to this first flying change. Got to keep that counter beforehand. It's quite a difficult movement. We see a little disturbance there in the flying change. It's combination average at 39.5 in this first phase. Really trying to show that clear difference between the extended canter and then into this counter canter. Flying changes, just something that Bolt MCR isn't a huge fan of. But they have had success here. Just outside the top 10 back in November in the 4-star short here in Montelibretti. Good ground coverage in that extended trot. Straight into this shoulder in. Nice stretch down. Could see the horse's nose poke out a little bit more, but ever so slightly behind the vertical. Want to see these horses stretch down and then out, away from their chest. Well, completing their test there for Italy. It is Fabio Ciotti and Bolt MCR. So nice test there, just that unfortunate miscommunication in the flying changes. Not Bolt MCR's favourite movement, but that's why we're a free phase sport. Look forward to seeing them out on the cross country and in the jumping phase as well. Looks like we've had more shake-up to the leaderboard, and Felix Vogt has entered the equation. Felix and Cartagna 68, I should say, 68.89%, 31.1 is their penalty score, so they're into second. And Emiliano Portali, Scuderia 1918 Future, 68.28, 31.7, so incredibly tight in this leaderboard. They go into third, so as it stands at the moment, Carlos Diaz Fernandez out in front for Spain with Tahe 30.50. Second, it's Switzerland's Felix Vogt, Cartagna 31.10. Third, Emiliano Portali 31.7. That's your top three, pushing Benjamin Messi and Figaro Fonroy into fourth place. So there's been real shake-up in this second half of dressage here today, and a lot of noise coming from some horns, so a little bit unsettling to start with for our next rider entering the arena. That is Mattia Luciani coming forward with Cantellato. It can be hard to settle a horse after there's been a bit of a disturbance, but Mattia doing a good job of just keeping his cool and telling Cantellato it's okay. Well, entering the arena now for Italy, Mattia Luciani and Cantellato. A good halt to start. Cantellato is 12-year-old, owned by Silver Oak Real Estate Company. They rounded out their year last year, placing in the top 10 in the 4-star short here at Montelibretti, where they picked up 9th. So let's hope that form has continued into 2024. Mattia doing a superb job here of just trying to keep the lid on and keep Cantellato nice and calm. This phase wouldn't be their favourite, however they're not doing a bad job. little bit abrupt in that walk transition. However, good halt before that rein back. Now, with everything going on, they're doing a super job of keeping that walk. Could have easily been a break into trot during that walk section. Getting a little bit tense at the moment. Now for this trot stretch circle, which if you've got a horse that's a little bit spicy in this phase, it can be quite daunting sometimes to have to relax the reins and let them stretch. But actually, they've got a really good stretch from this stretch circle. So coming to the end of their test there, Mattia Luciani and Cantalotto. Mattia doing a superb job of just keeping his cool and helping Cantalotto along throughout that test. But that's the dressage box ticked. Now they can look forward to the next two phases on Saturday and Sunday. As we enter into our final three riders of our first day of dressage here, the very first leg of the FEI Eventing Nations Cup series for 2024. And our next rider is a rider coming forward from Thailand, and a rider we will take note of because actually from their last 6 runs from the field, they are rated the best dressage combination in the field. The average from their last 6 runs has been a 26.8. Well, if they can achieve that today, we know that will rocket them straight to the top of the leaderboard, because currently out in front it is for Spain, Carlos Diaz Fernandez on 30.5. That's the score to beat. This is a combination that could push that. So we're very much looking forward to see Contois Samrin and Bigrim Biliemli. Contois became the first rider to represent Thailand in eventing at a World Championship when he competed in Protoni back in 2022, the World Championships there. He's also part of the Thailand team that won the eventing team gold medal at the 2019 Asian Games. So they're rated very highly in this first phase, but this is the first 4-star for this horse. So like we say, this is 4 stars, the level that these horses first have to learn to do flying changes in a competitive environment. They can be a difficult movement to establish, but we'll wait and see. They come up fairly early in this test and they are double marked. So double the marks for that movement. It's important to get it right because it's very easy to lose lots of marks if they slowly unravel. Not bad first flying change. Very nice second flying change. Something they've clearly been working hard on before stepping up to this 4-star level. Very exciting combination for Team Thailand. Looked like a square halt there before that rein back. You can see where they've scored well in their previous 2- and 3-star tests with this lovely uphill head carriage. A very expressive mover. But unfortunately that break in that extended trot will be expensive. What a shame. The rest of the test was looking very nice. A nice stretch on this trot circle, really stretching down with that head and out like we've been talking about. So coming to the end of their test now. Our rider coming forward from Thailand, onto our Samrin and Bigrim Billy Elmi. Well, a nice test for this 4-star first timer, Bigrim Billy Elmi. Changes were there, but the unfortunate just one break in that extended trot. But on the whole, I'm sure he will be very chuffed. So we have just 2 riders left to come forward for our first day of dressage here at the FEI Eventing Nations Cup in Montelibretti. We have 1 rider coming forward from Sweden, and then we with our final rider from Italy. But then of course tune in again tomorrow because we have 19 combinations coming forward again tomorrow as part of the Nations Cup. And then Saturday we'll have our full cross-country action for this 4-star Nations Cup. Of course, Beautifully designed by Eric Winter. Eric, of course, the designer of Badminton 5-star. And then our final day, Sunday, show jumping day. In the beautiful grass arenas here at Montelibretti. Weather is absolutely glorious. Perfect for eventing, and that's why so many people come over here at the start of the season to get some fantastic international runs under their belt. You've seen the likes of Bill Levitt. Most seasons come over and start his eventing season here, and there's a reason why. Beautiful venue, beautiful facilities, and beautiful Italian weather. So with our final 2 riders left to go, our leaderboard as it stands, it's Spain out in front. It's been a very good day indeed for the Spanish. It's Carlos Diaz-Fernandez and Tahe out in front with 30.50. A really, really beautiful test in our afternoon section of dressage. Close behind though is Felix Vogue and Cartagena, 31.1. And rounding out that top 3, it's Emiliano Portali and Scuderia 1918 Future, 31.7. So the leaderboard is very, very close. We still have 2 riders left to go today, and of course a whole other day of dressage tomorrow. So this could look very different by the time we round out our dressage tomorrow. So now we have a rider coming forward for Sweden. It is the turn of Amanda Roditis and DHI Hacker. This is both Amanda's and DHI Hacker's first 4-star together. The rider we saw earlier, Rafael Lozana, competing for Brazil. He took on the ride for a few months whilst Amanda had her daughter in May last year. Rafael, in fact, Amanda's fiancé. They got engaged last year, so congratulations. Lovely to have them both in this Nations Cup together. Double congratulations there for Amanda. One, of course, for her daughter that she had May last year, and then the engagement in 2023, a very big year for Amanda and Rafael. Let's hope 2024 can be a big one, eventing. Now heading towards the start of their centre line for their first 4-star, it is Amanda Roditis and DHI Hacker. Nice medium trot across the diagonal to get things going. heading round to these flying changes. The first time this combination will have had to do flying changes in a test. Didn't quite go to plan, however, they're straight back into the half pass. Not a lot of time to think in this test. Each movement comes up fairly quickly. Amanda doing a superb job of just trying to hold it all together. Another extended canter. You have to be careful. You want to show a difference in this extended canter, but you've got to be careful not to overdo it, because it can be hard with this counter coming up. And then on the flying change, which unfortunately again wasn't quite what she was after. However, when it does start to unravel, you just got to put it behind you and move on to the next movement, and that is this walk. Clear halt before the rein back, pretty straight. For this extended walk now, this could be a challenge if DHI Hacker is feeling a little bit exuberant today. Amanda doing a super job just trying to keep the walk. This corner can feel like a very long way when you've got a horse that's eager to trot. She's dealt with that very, very well. This trot work looking more settled than it was at the start, which is great to see. Now for our stretching trot circle. Again, not doing a bad job there. Could be slightly more relaxed and show a little bit more stretch over the back, but on the whole, with the horse that she's got at the moment, she's doing a super job. So, completing their first ever 4-star dressage test, Amanda Breeditis and DHI Hacker. So we wish them the best of luck in the next 2 phases in their first 4-star together. As we turn our attentions to the final rider to enter the arena today for the FEI 4-star Nations Cup here in Montelibretti. Final rider of the day, rider number 24, and then we have another 19 riders coming forwards tomorrow. But now it's the turn of Mathilde Pivani and Born West. Born West owned by Mathilde. Born West. This 13-year-old. It's lovely to see combinations like Matilde Pivani and Born West, who've been together right the way up through young riders and now have their sights higher up in the sport. Stepped up to 4-star last year and stepped up well indeed. They finished the year here at Montelibretti in the 4-star short to place 5th. It's great when we see these young riders step up to 4-star with their young rider horses. A lot of these horses really make dreams come true for these young riders competing at championships, at the youth championships, and then taking that big step up to 4-star. And then some even go all the way up to 5-star. You can really just see the connection and the relationship between horse and rider when they've been together that long and have worked their way up through the levels together. Born West, a very striking grey here.
CCIO4 Contract Samran, Green Julian, Georgia, 186, Georgia C, 201.50, Georgia.
Look like a better flying change this way.
Negative 0.33, percentage 66.42. Matteo Campolago. Georgia 188, Georgia C, 187.50, Georgia 182. Negative 0.38.10, percentage 61.92.
Like a relaxed walk so far into this extended walk. Really looking for that ground coverage and the over track. And you can see the relaxation, the swing over Born West's back.
195.50, Georgia 190.50, 0.37, percentage 62.
A little bit of resistance into the half pass. An expressive extended trot. Just wanting to keep that uphill head carriage. Now the test has looked very smooth and relaxed so far. Not a bad stretch down, could show a little bit more stretch over the back. As they take their turn down that final centre line is our final rider of the day here, the first day of dressage at the FEI Eventing Nations Cup in Montelibretti. Is Matilde Varney and Bourne West rounding out the day. Getting a bit excited from all the clapping. So final rider of the day from Italy now. I'll give you some updated scores as we have them. Scoring for Rafael Lozano, Master Quality, 63%, so 37 penalties exactly for them. And Mattia Luciani and Cantalotto, 61.94. Did a super job of keeping the lid on Cantalotto during that test. 38.10 was their score. And scoring for Fabio Cianicolotti and Bolt MCR, 60.39, so 39.60. So, as it stands overnight, it is Spain out in front there. Carlos Diaz Fernandez and Tahe CP 2110 30.50. Felix Robb in second with Italia 31.10. And currently in third place, Milano Portali Scuderia 1918 Future 31.70. That's your top three after day one of dressage here in Montelibretti at the very first leg, the FEI Eventing Nations Cup. We've had 24 riders come forwards today, but remember, tune in tomorrow because we have the following 19 to come. So 19 more riders coming forward tomorrow. And of course, Saturday is cross country day. Sunday is the show jumping. So that's all from us here at FEI.tv. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed all the action from our dressage here at Montelibretti, day one of the first leg of the FEI Nations Cup. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for our second day of dressage here in Montelibretti.